very much, please.
Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman for this occasion is a traditional leader with results-oriented approach to community development and a passion for community regeneration and education. He is an individual with a demonstrated record of success in entrepreneurship and strategic management. He has excellent communication skills, innovative ideas, creativity, courage, and a proactive approach to problem solving. He is deeply knowledgeable about the rich history and cultural heritage of the Ghana people and is committed to restoring pride, unity, and strength within the community through cultural preservation, education, and leadership. He has deep belief in the emerging generation of Ghana youth and leaders and the collective responsibility they bear to resuscitate the Ghana cultural heritage, history, language, and values through education, economic growth, and progress for the greater good of Ghana as a whole. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our chairman for this occasion is no other person than His Royal Majesty King Tackie Teiko Tsuru II, the Ga Mantse, and the President of the Ghanaian Envoys.
Ako chabageme nimekename akago apesma ishibam obuya.
Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency Professor J. Nana Opoku Ajimai, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Samuel Kujato Ablapa, Your Excellencies Heads of Mission, Your Excellencies Heads of Ghanaian Mission, Acting Chief Director, Directors, Staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Nime, Name, Nananam, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to chair this all-important opening ceremony. It's a personal privilege and also a celebration of the partnership between the Ghana Traditional Authority and the institutions of government. Congratulations to all you envoys on your appointment as representatives of Ghana across the globe. Your appointment places into your custody Ghana's global brand of integrity, brand of dignity, aspiration, history, and a rich cultural identity. It is through your hard work and dedicated service that you have arrived at this point in your careers and have earned this place in diplomatic history. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give them another round of applause. So your mission abroad is primarily to build bridges and elevate Ghana by engaging with Ghanaian diaspora and local communities in line with the government's transformation agenda. In this crucial era of our global history, diplomacy has transcended statecraft and evolved into a strategic engine of opportunities. For this reason, your conduct must be a reflection of Ghana's values of integrity, respect, hospitality, and discipline, blending with strategic insights with heartfelt national pride. Additionally, you must prioritize trade, business, investments, and development through strategic partnerships that are equitable and sustainable. In all you do, seek opportunities to promote Ghanaian products from our textiles, our traditional symbols, food products, clothing, and tourism, positioning Ghana as a trusted partner in global commerce. The diaspora is rife with skill, with talents, and expertise. We will ask you to take advantage of those characteristics and harness them for our national development. To this end, I welcome the Ministry of Foreign Affairs' introduction of key performance indicators, KPIs, for heads of mission, which signals a divisive shift from the ceremonial diplomacy that we know to a result-driven global approach. Within your missions, you will operate in a world of competing interests and delicate balances. Be sensitive to the culture of your host nations without compromising on our Ghanaian values. Educate yourself about the socio-political nuance of their people, but act with the courage and empathy underpinned by intelligence. This conference is not routine. It's not at all. It is a reaffirmation of Ghana's place globally. The theme harnessing the dividends of diplomacy for Ghana's reset agenda is a call to action. Say a call to action.
Call to action.
I commend His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, for convening this meeting to lay the bricks on the foundation for a more professional and resultative foreign service. A summary of a few things I want you to know: that we have to intensify and further diversify our trade directions, quality and packing of products, fighting sanitary and phytosanitary or other artificial barriers to our trade. In this area, we must boost the volume of our inter-African trade, which still has immense opportunity for growth. Let us fully implement visa regimes that will make Africa a more common home for all Africans. This is an indispensable part of our Pan-African agenda. Let us insist on reciprocal agreements, arrangements, particularly in the areas of immigration requirements, timelines, fees and charges of embassies in processing of visas. Reciprocity is a cardinal principle in diplomatic relations. We must adopt a more efficient and sustainable systems of payment of school fees for government-sponsored students abroad, as many of them now face major challenges. Furthermore, I encourage the ministry to give a greater focus to cultural diplomacy and involve traditional leadership in showcasing our rich cultural heritage through soft bilateral cultural exchanges to increase tourist arrivals in the country for huge benefits. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us not sweep our challenges under the carpet. We must confront them boldly, because only then can Ghana's diplomacy deliver lasting benefits for our people. I bless your journey. You want to say amen? You will not fail. Wombi jomo kenhanye bene nye fane ni wombi ni adronye na kenye emi kewala. No fe no ni nyafe manse efe jomo ulu ke hagana mamu fe. Roma Fale Rune Tekino, Nation Ghana man, fair no. Here was the band, the other one, Tunya, Ake Buffway, Kenya, Jing Fair. Nyakla Jing, Nyakpe Ake Kaneke, Ghana. Nyake was a Papa Bahawa, Nima, Koi Mama Kupanebu. God bless you all. God bless our homeland, Ghana.
President of the Republic of Ghana, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Nana Geopolitical Ajiman, my own dear mother, I acknowledge our distinguished chair, the Ga Mantse, me, Tackie Teiko Tsuru, the second. And I also acknowledge all ministers, presidential staffers, the CDS, Chief Director, the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, well represented, our staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and of course, I reserve the best for last, our distinguished envoys, the ambassadors. We are here to celebrate, to discuss with, to brainstorm with. On behalf of President John Dramani Mahama, I congratulate all of you on this noble appointment. There are very few people in our lifetime who will be considered worthy to be appointed ambassadors. When you look at the requirements under Article 74 of the Constitution, it's rigorous indeed. You must meet the President's high standards, and then you are subjected to further scrutiny by the Council of State. And that is not all. You are subjected to thorough background checks by national security. And probably the only appointment where it is not only the Ghanaian national security that conducts background check. The country you are headed to will also have to satisfy themselves before an agreement is issued. And I can confirm this morning that President Mahama's choices have been excellent, because so far we have received 100% confirmation. All the agreements that have come in so far, there has been no rejection, which shows that President Mahama selected the best. It was a really thorough process, and we have to commend His Excellency for the choice. About 2 decades now, some way, somehow, I've been asking how did it happen, but this ministry no longer has a bureau for culture, for linguistics and tourism. I'm delighted to announce to you today, Ga Mantse, I know you are delighted to hear this news. We have now established a new bureau for culture, linguistics and tourism. We brought it back. And beyond culture and tourism, what linguistics will do is that it will also help us to build capacity, multilingual capacity. That is why we are losing out in a lot of international appointments. And recently in Japan, it was quite a struggle. There was only one interpreter. And once that interpreter is with the president, the rest of us had to manage somehow. It wasn't easy. You should see us do a lot of sign language in the process. But the new bureau, Culture, Linguistics and Tourism Bureau, unfortunately, some countries have already approached us since we established the bureau to support us with capacity building in getting our colleagues to be more multilingual. And we are all going to take advantage of that so that we don't have to resort to sign language when the president is on a state visit.
Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge a few personalities. Her Excellency the Vice President, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyemang, and also our Royal Majesty King Tackie Teiko Tsuru, the second, the Ga Mantse, and then also our Honorable Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudeto Ablakwa, and then our members of parliament, and ministers of state, members of the foreign service, and indeed, let me just say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want us to observe a minute's silence in honor of our departed colleagues, especially Dr. Omani Bwama, who was a member of the Ministerial Advisory Council for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And so if you please rise and just observe a minute's silence. May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. You, the envoys who are dispatching, and the 7 envoys who have joined us, are going to be among the most prepared envoys we've ever dispatched in the history of Ghana. Because I've been looking through your course topics. For those of you who don't have this, it details all the things you're going to be taking through and all the people who are going to grant those lectures. And the resource persons are among the best minds we have in this country, and the topics are very well chosen. My uncle Ishmael Jansen just gave you a very good talk, and in his talk he touched on geopolitics and the current geopolitics, and there are several things he said that you should take away. He said the only certainty in this world today is uncertainty. And it's true, the world is unpredictable today. We had the Second World War, and after the Second World War, we created the United Nations, and we had a Cold War. Now the Cold War created a very predictable world because the superpowers had enough nuclear weapons to destroy this world 100 times over. And so they themselves realized that nobody will survive a nuclear war. And so it made the world predictable, because nobody will start a nuclear war because you can't win it. And then the cold curtain fell, and we entered a unipolar world and the era of globalization. By unipolar world means that America was just the greatest, and all the other superpowers had been diminished. Today's world is more uncertain because there are regional powers, the world is changing, and we don't know where all that is going to end. We have different power groupings that are developing. The BRICS have gone on their own. You have the US on its own. And the US is a strange cup of tea because it is quarreling with its allies. The US has always been strong because of NATO and their alliance with Europe. But now Europe are realizing that can we depend on the US, going forward? So it's created a whole, uncertain atmosphere, and that's what you're going into as an ambassadors. And so you must take that at the back of your minds. And then he also said that the reset agenda must be accompanied by a reset of our minds. That is a mindset, to change our mindsets. And I think that's true because looking at our experience in Japan and Singapore, those countries have achieved a good reset for themselves. Japan was destroyed by the World War, but today Japan is one of first-class countries in the world. Singapore gained independence 8 years after us in Ghana. Lee Kuan Yew actually visited Ghana twice, in 1964 and in 1966. And today Singapore has gone from third world to First World. One of the things I noticed is the discipline of their people, their attitudes, and most of all, their value system. They have become modern First World countries without losing their values. Their values are still their traditional values of honesty, of cleanliness, of discipline, and all that. Unfortunately, in most of Africa, we think that modernization is adopting other values of other people. And so our values of cleanliness, we are abandoning. I remember when we were growing up as children, early in the morning at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you know, they wake us up with our mothers and things, and we'll take brooms and sweep around the whole house and gather all the litter. Today, who cares? You know, we have value system of honesty. People could trust you in any transaction and know that you would deliver. Unfortunately, that's not the case. There's a lot of mistrust. You cannot trust anybody, you know, to honor a transaction. And so, one of the things that the minister left out was they accepted that we should send a team from our parks and gardens to show them how to create, you know, an enabling environment in our cities. And so that's one of the offers they gave, that we should send our parks and gardens to come and visit their botanical garden and to see how they keep their cities in an environment that encourages people to want to come in and visit. And so those are some of the things that we need to look at. But I think that above all, it is catching them from when they are young. Maybe for us, the adults, we are set in our ways and it's too late to redeem us. But if you look at countries like Singapore and Japan, they inculcate these values in the children from when they are as young as ever. And so they grow with those values. There's something we say, I don't know if it's a quote from the Bible, it says, teach the child the way he should go, and when they grow, they will not depart from it. I think that is what they do. They inculcate these values in the young people. For some of us, we got some of those values inculcated in us, because I remember when we were growing up, we were taught responsible citizenship and courtesy. I mean, I know that I shouldn't go and sit at the table and be eating and belching, or what do you call it, burping. And I noticed that for ambassadors, there's etiquette here. They're going to teach you that when the Queen invites you to, or the King invites you to dinner, you don't go, That's why I say you're going to be amongst the most prepared people, because there's etiquette in this book. And there's so many things. You know, I'm impressed with the curriculum for this orientation. Bevlo Lati is going to give you the situation in the Sahel region so that you understand the basis of the conflict and violence, extremism. You're going to have training on media. You're going to have training on personal and document security. That is important. How to handle confidential documents and all that. You're going to have that. Ambassador Yao Bimpong is giving that lecture. Dr. Kospio Gabra is giving a lecture on economic diplomacy. And everybody knows the pedigree of Dr. Kospio Gabra. You have a paper on Ghana's strategic interests vis-a-vis South-South cooperation, Asian Tigers, BRICS, and others. And so I believe that you're going to be equipped with everything that you need to be able to give a good account of yourselves. And so I just want to add and to thank our Royal Majesty King Tackie Teiko Tsuru for the comprehensive statement he made. Indeed, after his statement, I wonder if I need to make one. I think he's a keynote speaker because he had everything. He had everything contained in there. And so you can take my statement as remarks. And we've already had the keynote address by His Royal Highness. And so this gathering today affirms a simple truth. The future of our republic depends in no small measure on how you effectively carry Ghana's name and interest into the world. The theme of this year's conference, Harnessing the Dividends of Diplomacy for Ghana's Reset Agenda, reminds us that diplomacy must deliver tangible results. Jobs for our youth, markets for our farmers, technology for our innovators, dignity for our citizens abroad, and prosperity for all. When Ghanaians entrusted us with their mandates in December 2024, they did so during an economic crisis and a period of diminished trust in our governance. Out of this challenge, we introduced the Reset Agenda, which is a comprehensive blueprint to restore hope, rebuild trust, and rekindle prosperity. At the core of the Reset Agenda lies the imperative of work, dignified, meaningful, and sustainable employment. And so initiatives such as the 24-hour economy, the Women's Development Bank, the Agri-Reset Program, and youth apprenticeship schemes are all currently underway. And yet their success depends on the partnerships you cultivate abroad, the capital, the technology, the markets, and the knowledge we attract. The distinction between foreign and domestic policy has become increasingly blurred in today's interconnected world. The agreements you secure in Brussels, Beijing, or Washington will reverberate in Tamale, Kumasi, Ho, and Accra. For this reason, economic diplomacy is now the cornerstone of Ghana's foreign policy. Our missions must evolve into hubs of economic engagement, facilitating trade, attracting investments, and promoting innovation. May God bless you in your service and bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. I thank you.
The Vice President, Professor Nana Geopolitical will join His Excellency the President. Join them. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.